Was asked by a friend to make this. Her and her husband are runners and wanted something to display their runners' bibs and medals. This is made using select pine from the big box store. All of the tools used can be found in the description below. This is a Bob's Quantum Max. I have modified it using a custom spindle plate and a 16mm spindle. The big use here is an Amana 46282K tapered ball nose. I prefer using these types of bits over smaller end mills for this type of detail work. Here I am putting marker holes that will later be used for hooks. I could change bits and drill these holes completely with the CNC, but decided to just do that with the drill later. Here I am doing a small engrave to show where I need to cut. Once again, I could just change bits and cut this with the CNC, but that's slow and using the miter saw is quicker. Also, I don't get to use my miter saw that much, so wanted to use it. Forgot to turn on the dust collection. Wife's gonna be pissed. The miter saw stand here is made by Bora. I've become kind of a Bora fanboy. I really like their products. I have this miter saw stand, 2 of the speed horses, a couple clamps as well as a wood storage rack. I have been really happy with everything I have from them and they go on sale regularly. a 1/4-inch round-over router bit from Harbor Freight. The router here is a Makita RT0701C. It came with the Bob's Quantum Max. I really love the router and need to replace the bearing. I am very limited with space, so tend to use my CNC as a workbench. My CNC and trash cans are my workbenches. I do have a real workbench, but it is used to store other tools. This would be much easier with a router kit. Once I get more room, that will be one of my purchases. Here you get to watch me mix way too much resin. I'm using cheap resin from Amazon. It's great for these types of projects. It does take quite a while to set though. Right now in Texas we're in the 80s, so it was good after about 24 hours, but sometimes in colder weather it takes even longer. Yes, we get cold weather in Texas. When filling these more detailed pockets with resin, I like to brush a layer of the resin in first to make sure that I don't get pockets of air. Using these silicone brushes makes cleanup very easy. Just a little bit of heat here to make sure there are no bubbles. It also thins the resin slightly to help with air pockets. "24 hours later, the resin has set and is ready to sand. I'm using 120 grit sandpaper here. When doing this, dust collection is your friend. About halfway through I switched to a new piece of sandpaper. I just eyeballed the depth here. Ultimately, if I went all the way through, it wouldn't hurt anything. This is my XTool S1 40-watt laser. I decided to an inscription on the back. Here is the finished project. I went through quite a few iterations of sanding, staining, resanding, restaining until I got it how I wanted it. The finishing is an area that I struggle with and learned quite a bit on this part of the project.